Hey everyone! If you enjoyed this video, the full version is available on Patreon. I'll be uploading all my content there going forward.
Chapter 1. When you see the following information, you have died in the real world. But fortunately, you were selected as a player of the reincarnation game and got a second life. As a price, you need to enter the reincarnation space and participate in the reincarnation game. Complete the task in the reincarnation instance, and survive, you can get rich rewards. Here, as long as you are strong enough, you can get everything you want. Recite reincarnation game silently, you can summon your player handbook. For more rules, please refer to the player manual. After 15 minutes, your first reincarnation game will start. Chu Mu opened his eyes with some doubts in them. But after carefully browsing some of the information that suddenly popped up in my mind, he quickly accepted the weird reality that happened to him. Reincarnation game? In short, if it comes, let it be. As a person who has experienced great storms, Chu Mu quickly calmed down and looked around. He is now in an empty classroom. There is no one else but him. There is a countdown timer on the blackboard that is ticking away. Looks like numbers written in chalk. But it is strangely changing with time. 14 minutes left. It seems that these 14 minutes should be the preparation time for me. After 14 minutes, I will start the first reincarnation game. Chu Mu thought for a while, and followed the rules he had just seen. In my mind, I said reincarnation game silently. His hand sank suddenly, and a manual appeared. The cover of the manual is iron gray. The first page opened is Chu Mu's personal information. Player, Chu Mu. Level, LV0. Life point, 100/100. Spiritual power, 100/100. Basic attributes. Strength, 10, affects your explosive upper limit, physical attack strength. Agility, 10, affects your body coordination, reaction, and speed. Physique, 10, affects your resistance to negative states, blood limit. Intelligence, 10, affects learning ability, knowledge skill effect. Mystery, 10, affects the effect, strength, and mysterious personality of mysterious skills. Will, 10, affects mental resistance, upper limit of mental power, mental toughness. Charm, 15, affects favorability, charm, and illusion skills. On another page, there are notes related to personal information. For an ordinary adult male, the average attribute is 10 points. Chu Mu can be regarded as standard public data. It's that the charm is much higher than others. This may have something to do with his already good-looking handsome face. The level is level 0. Consuming samsara copper coins can increase the level. What is the reincarnation copper coin, the currency of this game? Chu Mu continued to browse the notes next to him. His current player level is level 0. Consuming 100 samsara copper coins can upgrade to LV1. Upgrading can gain one free attribute. It's a way to strengthen yourself. However, after upgrading to LV10, you need to complete the advanced mission to continue to upgrade. Of course, this is still a long way for Chu Mu. The following skills, abilities, occupations, and bloodlines are all empty. It's normal. Flip through the back few pages of the manual. Chu Mu only saw a blank. After all, he is now an out-and-out rookie player. No ability or equipment. Soon, 15 minutes passed, and the countdown was reset. A prompt similar to the one before appeared again in front of Chu Mu's eyes. This is your first reincarnation game, a novice copy. You are the only player in this dungeon. The current dungeon is Bedmaster City Action. You must play an identity to enter the copy. Different identities will have additional opening rewards. Currently available identities: taxi driver, cleaner, school security guard, high school student. As a novice benefit, you can play all identities for free in this instance. WTF? Bed Lord City. See the words Bed Master City action. Chu Mu raised his brows, and there was a huge wave in his heart. Isn't this the place name in an anime before he traveled? Yes, he is a time traveler. He traveled from the Earth to the Blue Star. Then I have lived in Blue Star till now. So when he was involved in the game of reincarnation. That's why you're so calm. After all, even time travel has happened. Another reincarnation game doesn't seem to be a big deal. But here's something to see on Earth. This shocked Chu Mu greatly. If I'm not mistaken, the prototype of this copy should be Apocalypse. Rubbing his temples, Chu Mu recalled the plot of the original work. This dungeon is not easy, at least for me. On the island city called Bed Lord City, a virus that can quickly turn people into dead zombies has spread. Let the whole city fall in a short time. Ordinary people want to survive in a city full of zombies. I am afraid it will be even more difficult. If you can mix into the protagonist group, there is a chance of life. While thinking, several messages popped up in front of Chu Mu's eyes. Congratulations! You have awakened the villain playing system. You can now choose to play the villain role in the dungeon world. Playing as a villain for the first time, you can get a newcomer villain gift pack. System? Chu Mu felt the strange things he encountered today. More than 2 lifetimes combined. But awakening the system should be a good thing. Playing the villain, let me think about it, the villain of this work should be. Chu Mu's expression moved, as if he had thought of something. He clicked on the list of available roles. Sure enough, he found a familiar character. Wisteria Koichi, playable a teacher at the private Fujimi Academy, the eldest son of a famous member of parliament, young and handsome, with an extraordinary family background. He is the dreaming object of many female high school students and young female teachers, but he has some twisted psychology in private and has provocative eloquence and influence. Playing cost, free, newcomer benefits, original price 1000 reincarnation copper coins. Start bonus, except for Rei Miyamoto, all important plot characters have a base favorability plus 20%. Villain mission, unlock after entering the dungeon world. Although there are some dishes, but there is only one villain option. It's him. Chu Mu directly locked on the profile picture of Koichi Wisteria. Are you sure you want to play Koichi Wisteria? Sure. At this point, Chu Mu has no reason to refuse. Besides, playing the role of Koichi Wisteria, there is still a villain gift package waiting for him to open. You have obtained a temporary identity, Wisteria Koichi. Entering the instance, Operation Bed Master City. You have obtained the newbie villain gift pack X1. Please open the player handbook to check it out. Chapter 2. The surrounding scene is a flower. When he came back to his senses, Chu Mu found himself teleported to an office. Judging from the piles of lesson plans and various documents on the table, should be the faculty office. There are several busy teachers around. On the playground outside the window, members of the sports club are training. Youthful shouts came from outside. It seems to be a peaceful scene. If there is no series of reminders that continue to emerge in front of you. Warn. The dead body virus will explode in 5 minutes. The main task has been unlocked, survive 30 days in the main bed city. Basic reward, 1000 reincarnation copper coins, 3 free attribute points. Is there only 5 minutes left before the outbreak of the dead body virus? Chu Mu frowned. This time is obviously not enough for him to prepare. It's too late to get in touch with several plot characters of the protagonist group. Let's take a look at what the villain gift pack gives. According to the prompt just now, Chu Mu took out the player manual. After turning a few pages, a card fell out of it. On the card is a treasure chest that is smirking. Newbie villain gift pack, special props, get a random S-level legendary job after use. This novice gift pack is actually for an S-level legendary class. Seeing the description information of the card, Chu Mu was shocked. According to the notes in the player's handbook, the rarity of all things in the reincarnation game is divided into several levels. From low to high are E grade black iron, D grade bronze, C grade silver, B level gold, A level extraordinary, S level legend. It can be said that S rank is already the highest level of rarity that ordinary players can access. Time was of the essence, so Chu Mu used the card directly. Suddenly, an extremely dazzling light appeared in front of his eyes. You have obtained a profession, Apostle of Destiny, S level. Do you want to change to this profession? Apostle of Destiny. Chu Mu raised his eyebrows and directly chose to change jobs. He has no reason to refuse. Dead virus is about to break out. Then there are horrible zombies everywhere. At this time, I can have more strength. It's just a little more chance of surviving. You have successfully transferred to the S-class profession Apostle of Destiny. Please check the detailed occupation content in the player handbook. This is a job change. I don't feel much. Chu Mu moved his body a bit. Nothing unusual was found. The imagined scene of golden light flashing and power surging did not appear. You can only open the player manual to see what's going on. Occupation, Destiny Apostle. Plus occupation rank, S, Legendary. Plus occupational characteristics, when certain conditions are met, you can seal the target thing and get its fate card. Plus attribute correction, for each level up, get 5 free attribute points. Plus occupational skills, Destiny Tarot LV1, Destiny Illustrated Book LV1. Unlock new professional skills at LV5. Professional advancement is available at LV30. Class information in the player's handbook is scant. But it was much better than the empty space before. No wonder there is no feeling of strength improvement. I am still at level 0. Chu Mu took a glance and roughly understood his current state. Apostle of Destiny is worthy of being an S-level legendary profession. You can get 5 free attribute points when you level up. It is 5 times the growth rate when there is no professional upgrade. And even at level 0, Chu Mu has 2 basic job skills. They are Fate Tarot and Fate Illustrated Book. Fate Tarot. Plus level, LV1/20. Plus effect, for each level up, one type of Fate Tarot will be unlocked. Plus upgrade, it takes 100 copper coins to upgrade to LV2. Fate Illustrated Book. Plus level, LV1/20. Plus effect, for every level up, unlock one Fate card equipment slot. Plus upgrade, it takes 100 copper coins to upgrade to LV2. It seems to be a profession with a complicated mechanism, but it is also very powerful. Chu Mu glanced at the skill information and found that both skills were unlockable. It should be that the level 1 of the skill itself also meets the unlocking conditions. In this way, Fate Illustrated Book unlocked a Fate card equipment slot. Fate Tarot you can choose one card to unlock. The Fool, the World, the Chariot, the Devil, are all nouns in the tarot cards. After thinking about it, Chu Mu chose a very aggressive card type to unlock. You have unlocked Fate Tarot, Death. Fate Tarot Death, consume 10 mental power, lock on a target, throw the death card, cause 100 plus, mysterious and intelligence, points of real damage, and have a 50% chance of causing damage to targets whose physical and will attributes are lower than yours. Immediate death. Anyway, it's an attack skill. Chu Mu now has 100 spiritual power. Can use Fate Tarot, Death 10 times in a row. After doing all this while staring at the player's handbook, the countdown to the dead body virus outbreak has finally returned to 0. The moment the countdown ends, a series of reminder messages appeared in front of his eyes. Dead body virus has broken out. The villain mission has been unlocked. Villain mission, kill or subdue important plot characters. Important plot characters, Takashi Komuro, compulsory, Rei Miyamoto, Saya Takagi, Saiko Busujima, Shizuka Marikawa, Toda Hirano. Every time you complete a goal, you will get a reward. Remarks: you must kill or subdue Xiaomuro, otherwise you will lose the villain playing system. Takashi Komuro is a mandatory target. Is it because he is the hero of the original work? Looking at the villain's task in front of him, Chu Mu thought about it. System, how do you count as conquering? Soon, a prompt message automatically appeared. The target character's favorability reaches 100%, and he can be subdued as a follower. Favorability. The corner of Chu Mu's mouth twitched slightly. Asking him to increase the favorability of men, what joke are you talking about? What's more, this guy named Komuro Takashi is not a good guy. If it weren't for the protagonist's halo bonus, I'm afraid I don't know how many times I have died. How can you open a harem in a world full of zombies? So Chu Mu didn't have any objection to killing Komuro Takashi in his heart. Suddenly, there were a few terrified screams not far away. Ah! Killed! Mr. Xiaolin, are you okay? Don't come near me, ah! Following the prestige, Chu Mu found a commotion at the school gate. It looks like the school is going to fall soon. Chu Mu raised his eyebrows. He remembered that this was the opening scene of Apocalypse. The dead body crisis in the private Fujimaya Gakuen. It was from several dead bodies at the school gate that spread. Hearing the commotion outside, the teachers in the staff office also started to riot. A middle-aged male teacher wearing glasses just opened the door. He was thrown to the ground by a zombie of a high school student whose uniform was covered in blood. Ah! Help me! What's going on? Chu Mu's heart shuddered. Unexpectedly, the dead zombies had already spread into the teaching building. It seems that we have to find a safe place quickly, and we have to meet the protagonist group. While thinking, Chu Mu stretched out his hand and activated the skill. A card with a skull pattern was drawn out of thin air. Destiny Tarot, Death. Whoosh. Just a light toss. Cards are like sharp blades. It directly penetrated the head of a dead body blocking the door. Cut off the head with a hideous expression. You have caused 120 points of real damage to the dead zombie. You killed dead zombie, LV1. You got 1 round of copper coins. You got the destiny card, Dead Zombie. Chapter 3. Spike. The life value of the dead body should be around 100. Chu Mu looked at the decapitated corpse, feeling a little disgusted. But the next moment, the zombies he killed quickly melted away. Condensed into a sparkling card, flew in front of him. This is... Chu Mu curiously reached out to take the card. Relevant prompts automatically appeared in front of my eyes. Fate card, Dead Zombie. Level 1 Black Iron. Fate, Death. Tag, Undead. Upright, increase the upper limit of life by 10 points. Inversion, increase the upper limit of mental power by 10 points. Remarks, the head is the weak point of the wandering dead, relying on hearing to hunt living things. This should be the fate card that can be equipped in the fate book. It seems that killing should be regarded as one of the specific conditions. Chu Mu opened the Destiny illustrated book thoughtfully. It's also divided into upright and upside down, interesting. For me, mental strength is very important now. This card will be turned upside down first. With that said, he equipped fate card, Dead Zombie. You placed Dead Zombie, inverted, in the Destiny book. Your upper limit of mental power is increased by 10 points. In the player's handbook, Chu Mu's spiritual power has changed from 90/100 to 100/110. There was an extra 10 points of spiritual power out of thin air. Yes, you can throw an extra death card. At present, Chu Mu has no means of recovering mental power. Can only rely on natural responses. The extra 10 points of mental power are quite crucial. Teacher Wisteria, you. The middle-aged teacher who was thrown to the ground reluctantly showed surprise. He saw Chu Mu wave his hand just now. The zombie that was pressing on him had its head chopped off and disappeared. This supernatural strange scene. It even made him forget the fact that he was just bitten by a zombie. Tisk, poor guy. Glancing at his colleague lying in a pool of blood, Chu Mu shook his head pityingly. Step over him and walk out of the office. Bitten by a dead body, he will soon become a dead body too. It's completely hopeless. So there is no need for communication. Staff offices are located in the administration building within the academic building. This is generally the activity classroom of various clubs. The density of personnel is far less than that of an overcrowded ordinary classroom. So Chu Mu only saw a few dead zombies wandering along the way. As long as I don't make too much noise, they won't notice me. We are still in the early stages of the dead body virus outbreak. The campus seems to be in a panic, but most of them are students with no heads. Wait until the bitten person is transformed into a dead body. Only then will there be horrible corpses. Whoosh! A card with a skull pattern flew out of Chu Mu's hand. Kill a dead zombie blocking the way. Chu Mu harvested a fate card again. As before, they are all dead zombies. But the quality of this fate card is higher. Not class 1 black iron, but class 1 bronze. Inversion can provide 15 points of maximum mental power. It turns out that destiny cards also have different qualities. After replacing the fate card of the black iron level, Chu Mu's spiritual power limit has been raised to 115 points. There are more and more zombies. Looking at the dead zombies in the corridor eating the corpses of high school students, Chu Mu's spirit became more and more tense. Although he has the ability to kill the body, but in the face of hordes of zombies that are as turbulent as waves, the power of one person is really too small. Only by finding the protagonist group can one follow the plot and escape from birth. At this point in time, there are 3 places to go. Chu Mu's mind quickly worked. The first is the rooftop, where there are 2 plot characters, Takashi Komuro and Rei Miyamoto. The second is the infirmary, where you can meet Saikobu Sujima and Shizuka Jichuan. The third is the science laboratory, where Hirano Toda and Takashi Saya can be found. According to my current location, go to the rooftop. The rooftop is the closest to the management building. And most importantly, this is a great opportunity to kill Takashi Komuro. If Takashi Komuro is allowed to join other plot characters, then it will be even more difficult to kill. Why not just before the protagonist group gathers? Get rid of the original hero directly. After making up his mind, Chu Mu acted immediately. On the way to the rooftop, several dead zombies were killed again. Harvested a few pitiful reincarnation copper coins. Plus a few fate cards of dead bodies. But the quality is not high. There are still 55 mental power. Fortunately, I have already reached the rooftop. Chu Mu looked at the man who had consumed most of his mental power and breathed a sigh of relief. Then carefully climb up the stairs to the roof. Around the corner, I heard the voices of a man and a woman arguing. Lee, get out of there. How is hopeless, just like in the movie. Once bitten by a zombie, they will all turn into the same monster in the end. Let How die as a human, that's what he meant too. Chu Mu recognized that it was Komuro Takashi's voice. According to the content of the words, the progress of the plot was immediately judged. It seems that Takashi Komuro's friend, Rei Miyamoto's current boyfriend was bitten by a dead body and is about to turn into a zombie. This is an opportunity that can be used. Soon, a flash of light flashed in Chu Mu's mind. Quietly stuck out his head. Observe the 2 people who are confronting each other. Rei Miyamoto looked at her boyfriend who kept coughing up blood. I can't bear this hard at all. looking at Takashi Komuro with a crying voice. No. It can't be like this. What if he can still be saved? How can the things in the movie happen in reality? Xiao, don't kill him. Okay, I'll take him to the doctor. Looking at the two people who are inseparable. Takashi Komuro, who is the heroine, felt restless for a while. I became more and more jealous. Obviously he and Miyamoto Rei made an agreement when they were young. She will be her own bride when she grows up. But in high school, this woman abandoned herself. Hanging out with his best friend. It's unreasonable. Nagai Hao is dying now. Takashi Komuro felt a distorted pleasure in his heart. Get out of there, Lee, I'm saving you. Takashi Komuro gripped the metal baseball bat tightly. He approached Go Nagai who was lying on the ground. He's turning into a man-eating monster. Let me kill him. Looking at Takashi Komuro who looked gloomy and serious. Miyamoto Rei knew that he had made up his mind. He could only leave Nagai Hao with tears in his eyes. That's right. Seeing this scene, Komuro snorted coldly in his heart. Lee will only need me in the future. As for Hao, I'm sorry, please die with peace of mind. The next moment, Komuro Taka held up the metal baseball bat. His eyes showed a hint of sternness. It went straight to Nagai Hao's head. At this moment, Chu Mu in the dark also quietly threw out a card. Destiny Tarot, Death. Die, Hao. I'll take care of Holly. With a hint of pleasure, Takashi Komuro swung the baseball bat. But he was horrified to find that his arm was cut off by Kikai at some point. You caused 120 points of real damage to Xiaomoro Taka. Xiaomoro Xiao was hit hard. Seeing the battle information fed back. Chu Mu pouted. An ordinary high school student's life value is actually higher than that of a dead body, you are worthy of being the protagonist. However, no matter how high the attribute is, the dead body virus cannot be avoided. That's right, his goal wasn't to directly kill Komuro Takashi. After all, there is Miyamoto Rei next to her. Chu Mu has only one purpose. That is to give Komuro Takashi's life to the dead Go Nagai. Click. Under Rei Miyamoto's horrified gaze. Komuro Takashi who originally wanted to kill Nagai Hao. Suddenly, as if he had fallen, he fell directly on the former. Nagai Hao, who has completely turned into a dead body zombie. He opened his mouth suddenly, and bit Takashi Komuro's neck. No. Xiao. Hearing the heart-piercing cry from the rooftop. The corner of Chu Mu's mouth raised slightly behind the corner of the stairs. You have killed the important plot character Xiaomoro Takashi. You have completed one of the mission objectives of the current Dungeon World villain. You have received the following rewards. Chapter 4. You have killed the important plot character Xiaomoro Takashi. The villain's goal has been completed. You have robbed the luck of the protagonist of Xiaomoro Takashi. Oh? If you kill the protagonist, can you get his luck? Chu Mu looked at a series of reward messages in surprise. There were so many rewards that he almost swiped the screen directly in front of his eyes. And after killing Takashi Komuro, a warm current surged through his body. It seems that the whole body is much stronger. It seems that this reward has strengthened certain attributes. With a glimmer of expectation, Chu Mu clicked on the reward list. You have obtained Specialty, Low-Level Protagonist Template. You have obtained Fate Card, Takashi Komuro. You have inherited the favorability relationship related to Komuro Takashi. Rei Miyamoto's affection for you has increased to 60%, Familiarity. Joken Saya's favorability for you has increased to 60%, Familiarity. You got 1000 Reincarnation copper coins. The reward for killing Takashi Komuro is quite generous. Just for the currency rewards, there are a full 1000 Reincarnation copper coins. It is equivalent to the reward of the entire main mission. Should I upgrade first, or strengthen my skills first? With so much money all of a sudden. Chu Mu was also a little confused for a while. If you upgrade, you can get 6 free attribute points for each level. And strengthening skills can make a qualitative change in one's combat effectiveness. No matter which one you choose, it's a huge improvement. There are other rewards. However, because of the commotion just now, the dead bodies around gathering gradually, they almost surrounded the rooftop. Chu Mu knew that now was not the time to savor rewards. It is the last word to join the protagonist group as soon as possible. So, he walked out directly from behind the corner of the stairs. Ms. Wisteria. Rei Miyamoto's pretty face is raining with pear blossoms. Messy school uniform with a hot figure. It also brings out the lovely and delicate temperament. She still hasn't recovered from the deaths of 2 childhood sweethearts. Seeing Chu Mu appear, a strong sense of security surged in his lonely heart. After all, in this environment full of zombies, at least it is better to have a fellow sane than to be alone. Even in the original work, Koichi Wisteria was the culprit that caused Rei Miyamoto to repeat a grade. But at this time, Chu Mu inherited the favor relationship of Xia Shixiao. Miyamoto Rei only had closeness and familiarity with him in her heart. There is no hatred or hostility in the slightest. Miyamoto-san, what are you doing here? Chu Mu put on the airs of a teacher. He glanced at Go Nagai who was eating Takashi Komuro's body. There was a look of regret on his face. Your friends, it's a pity, if I can come one step earlier, maybe I can save them. Although Takashi Komuro's death was personally brought about by him. Teacher, what should we do next? Rei Miyamoto subconsciously asked Chu Mu. Zombies are everywhere in the school. Maybe the whole city has fallen. She had a panicky sense of being homeless. If you leave here, you will have a chance. Chu Mu smiled and reached out to Rei Miyamoto who was sitting on the ground. I'm going to the duty room to get the school bus keys and prepare to drive away. Want to come with me? It's like catching a ray of light in the darkness. Miyamoto Rei hastily wiped away her tears. Grab Li En's hand and stand up from the ground. Let's go, this place will be surrounded soon. Chu Mu pointed to the group of corpses that had already surrounded the rooftop stairs. I can fight. Rei Miyamoto picked up a steel pipe and waved it twice in her hand. Quite a bit valiant and heroic. She is a member of the Spear Club and is skilled with pole arms. It is the character in the protagonist group whose melee ability is second only to Psycho Busujima. It's not necessary. Chu Mu shook his head. In fact, there is no need to entangle with these dead bodies at all. As long as no sound is made, these dead bodies will not perceive them. Come with me, and be quiet. Chu Mu found a direction with less dead bodies. Throw out 2 death tarot cards. Create a gap. Walk out of the gap softly and slowly. Follow. Rei Miyamoto looked at Chu Mu who was strolling among the corpses in amazement. Thinking of his exhortation, he tensed his nerves and held his breath. Follow the route Chu Mu left, passing through the siege of dead bodies. Teacher, what's going on? After breaking away from the siege of dead bodies, Rei Miyamoto took Chu Mu's arm and asked curiously. Dead bodies hardly have any sense of sight and smell, only hearing. Chu Mu felt the wonderful touch of his arm sunk deep in the soft flesh. Then explained. So, as long as you don't make noise on purpose, they basically don't talk to you. In fact, this phenomenon can be found with simple observation. It's just that the high school students in the school panicked at the beginning. There is no time to calm down and observe the law of action of the dead body. It turned out to be like this. The girl looked at Chu Mu with admiration. The more he felt that his figure was taller and more reliable in his mind. Rei Miyamoto's affection for you increases by 5%. Current favorability is 65%. Hey? Does this increase the favorability? Chu Mu raised his brows lightly, secretly guessing. It should be that I robbed the relationship of Komuro's filial piety. After all, he is the protagonist, and the heroines in the original work almost always take the initiative to pay him back. Instead of data, the favorability will automatically increase, and you can attack yourself. After I plundered his luck, I also had this effect. Tisk, as expected of the hero of the harem. Understand the relationship. Then he glanced at the female high school student who was almost touching her upper body. Chu Mu shrugged, feeling that this is not bad. As for Takashi Komuro, the guy who is dead, naturally no one will remember. The duty room is located on the second floor of the management building. You need to go all the way down from the rooftop to arrive. The number of high school students who are still struggling at this time is running out. Even if there are students who are still alive, they were all shivering and hiding in the cabinet or some corner, for fear of being devoured by those man-eating monsters. However, in this perilous environment, there are still alternatives. At the door of the duty room, Chu Mu took Miyamoto Rei. He ran into two people coming from the other direction. One is a blonde beauty with a proud figure and wearing a white coat. The other was a glamorous girl in a sailor suit with long dark purple hair. The moment Chu Mu saw them, he recognized the identities of the two. Saiko Busujima from the protagonist group, and Shizuka Marikawa, so we met here. In fact, the meeting between the two parties is also in Chu Mu's plan. Because according to the original plot, Saiko Busujima, at this point in time, will protect Mari Chuan Shizuka to get the key of the school bus. Hello, Bujima-san, and school Dr. Ju Chuan. Chu Mu took the initiative to nod to the two. It turned out to be teacher Wisteria. Saiko Busujima nodded to Chu Mu. Her attitude is not as enthusiastic as Miyamoto Rei. But after all, Chu Mu still has the status of teacher. So be a little more respectful. Teacher Ju Chuan and I are going to the duty room to find something, together. It just so happens that our destination is also there. Chu Mu naturally would not refuse. As soon as he nodded, he saw a prompt message appearing in front of him. Trigger side mission, hold your ground. Mission objective, when searching for the school bus keys in Jichuan Shizuka, defend against the incoming dead zombies. Mission reward, 300 reincarnation copper coins, Ju Chuan Shizuka's favor, Busujima Saiko's favor. Chapter 5. Sub-quests, the rewards are not bad. Chu Mu looked at the task panel that popped up in surprise. The reward for standing ground is 300 copper coins. It is almost one-third of the income of the main task. It seems that if you want to make a fortune in dungeons, you have to do more side quests. Otherwise, counting on the pitiful benefits of the main task, it is both upgrading and strengthening skills, which is not enough at all. Student Miyamoto, go and help the school Dr. Ju Chuan find something. After thinking for a while, Chu Mu turned to look at Saiko Busujima. Me and Bujima-san are watching the wind outside, how about it? Can. Saiko Busujima nodded slightly. The evaluation of Chu Mu in my heart rose a little. At this time, you are not afraid of the first and the last, and dare to stand up and take risks. It is a sign of responsibility and manliness. Although the side mission is triggered, but there is no movement of the enemy yet. Ju Chuan Shizuka estimated that it will take a while to find. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Chu Mu was able to browse the harvest just now. The first is the specialty, low-level protagonist template obtained after killing Takashi Komuro. Specialty, low-level protagonist template. Level, E, special. Effect, all basic attributes plus 10, recover an additional 10 points of life and mental power every minute. Effect, it is easier to increase the favorability of plot characters in the current instance, and it will become invalid after leaving the current instance. Remarks, this feat is a special feat and cannot be obtained through conventional means. All attributes directly plus 10. The corners of Chu Mu's eyes twitched slightly. No wonder he couldn't kill Takashi Komuro in one shot of Death Tarot. The CO author's basic attributes alone have already crushed him. Such a simple and rude increase is worthy of being a protagonist template. Chu Mu glanced at his personal information panel. The highest charm attribute has reached 25 points. Other attributes have also risen to 20 points. Directly doubled than the original. The life value has increased to 200, and the mental power is 215. It seems that every point of constitution increases life by 10 points, and every point of will increases mental power by 10 points. Chu Mu secretly clenched his fists excitedly. Now his whole body is filled with a strong sense of strength. As if one punch could directly knock a cow into the air. However, what pleased him most was the improvement of his spiritual power. Greatly enhanced his sustained combat capability. By the way, there is also a destiny card for Takashi Komuro. Remembering that there was another loot, Chu Mu took out the rewards that had been distributed before. Like the fate card of Dead Zombie. This is a card with Takashi Komuro printed on the front. Only the frame is gorgeous silver. Fate card, Takashi Komuro. Level 5 silver. Fate, the Fool. Tags, Human, High School Student. Upright, upper limit of mental power -20, mental power consumption of skills reduced by 2 points. Inversion, HP limit -20, additional 2 points of HP recovered per minute. Remarks, conceited, stubborn, emotionally confused brave man. Seeing the effect of Takashi Komuro's fate card, Chu Mu frowned. It actually reduces the upper limit of mental strength and health. But the follow-up effect is good. Although upright or upside down will have negative effects. But it also has additional special effects. For example, the mental power consumption of skills is reduced by 2 points. Very profitable for Chu Mu who can cast skills frequently. Casting Death 10 times saves 20 points of mental power. It is enough to offset the negative impact of reducing the upper limit of mental power by 20 points. It's good to upgrade a few levels of skills, and you can unlock a few more destiny card slots. Chu Mu currently has more than 1,000 reincarnation copper coins in his hand. It only costs 100 copper coins to upgrade the Fate Illustrated book from LV1 to LV2. Chu Mu was promoted to a level on the spot. Fate Illustrated book has been upgraded to LV2. The next upgrade needs to consume 300 samsara copper coins. It has risen so much. Looking at the upgrade price that has tripled, Chu Mu hesitated. But after thinking about it, it's useless to keep the copper coins. It's better to spend it directly and turn it into combat power. Continue to rise. Fate Illustrated book has been upgraded to LV3. The next upgrade needs to consume 500 reincarnation copper coins. Upgrading 2 levels of skills in a row. Chu Mu still has more than 600 copper coins left. Destiny Illustrated book has reached LV3. Can equip 3 destiny cards at the same time. In this way, he can equip 2 dead zombies, upside down, and 1 Komuroko, upright. A total of +5 mental power upper limit, skill mental power consumption -2 effect. The remaining 600 copper coins, after careful consideration. Chu Mu first tentatively upgraded to a level, spending 100 copper coins. Level up. You get 1 free attribute point. Based on the growth of Apostle of Destiny, you will get an additional 5 free attribute points. The next upgrade will cost 200 reincarnation copper coins. It seems that the increase in copper coins required for upgrading is relatively low. It's more cost-effective to upgrade directly at this stage. After thinking for a moment, Chu Mu directly used all the remaining copper coins for upgrades. Directly raise the level to LV3. A total of 18 free attribute points have been obtained. These attribute points leave 5 spare points. The remaining 13 points were all invested in the wool attribute by Chu Mu. All of a sudden, the wool attribute of wool was piled up to an astonishing 33 points. The upper limit of mental power has also increased by leaps and bounds to 335 points. Upgrading to LV4 requires 400 copper coins. Even if you complete the branch line, the money is not enough. Looking at the currency bar that suddenly bottomed out, Chu Mu shrugged. It seems that there is still a long way to go before LV5 unlocks new professional skills. At this moment, an exclamation suddenly came from the duty room. Ah! What's wrong? Saikobu Sujima and Chu Mu turned their heads to look inside the house at the same time. But I found Ju Chuan Shizuka squatting on the ground in pain. He said embarrassingly to the two of them. Accidentally fell down, hee hee. Mr. Ju Chuan, your clothes are not suitable for action. Saikobu Sushima sighed. The beautiful school doctor put on a white coat. Underneath is a tight-fitting skirt that accentuates the curves of the waist and hips. It gets tense with a little movement. Although it can reflect Ju Chuan Shizuka's attractive figure. But as Saikobu Sujima said, it is very unsuitable for sports. Especially in this kind of environment where you will be overtaken by zombies if you are not careful. I can't help it, I don't have time to change clothes now. The somewhat confused blonde school doctor scratched his head and said. In that case, why not simply? Saying that, Saikobu Sujima grabbed Marikawa Shizuka's skirt and made a gesture. Wait! Bujima-san, don't you mean? Before Jichuan Shizuka could react. Saikobu Sujima neatly tore off her hip wrap skirt from the side. The round thighs bound by the fabric were immediately freed. Okay, so it's okay to run in big strides. Saikobu Sujima nodded in satisfaction. Ah, this is a branded product. Ju Chuan Shizuka looked at the hem of the skirt torn in two with some distress. It took half a month's salary of mine. He didn't care about his large expanse of fair skin being exposed. Well? Saikobu Sushima asked helplessly. Clothing or life, which one is more important? The somewhat unfocused blonde school doctor thought hard. Finally, he said confidently. All important. It is indeed the mascot of the protagonist group. There is a skill in being cute and playing tricks. Chu Mu chuckled, and then suppressed the smile. Because he saw it, because of the exclamation that Ju Chuan Shizuka just made. There are many dead zombies approaching from both sides of the corridor. Sub-quests, Standing Firm has officially begun. Please protect Ju Chuan Shizuka from dead zombies within 5 minutes. Chapter 6. Coming. Chu Mu looked at the approaching dead zombies and drew a card backhand. Fate Tarot, Death. Due to the increase in attributes, death can now cause 140 real damage. As long as it hits, the dead zombies will surely die. You killed dead zombie, LV1, and got 1 round of copper coins. You killed. Kill reminders continuously appeared in front of his eyes. Chu Mu glanced at his mental strength, there were more than 100 points left. Coping with the immediate attack shouldn't be a problem. What's more, he is not fighting alone now. There was only a sharp cracking sound coming from behind. The heavy wooden knife with a precise and graceful arc. Hit a zombie hard on the head. Knock it to the ground and die instantly. This blow kills a ruthless zombie. Naturally, it was Saikobu Sujima who had rushed out of the duty room. As expected of the chief general of the kendo department. Seeing this fierce scene, Chu Mu praised secretly. Not a moment later, Saikobu Sushima raised her sword and dropped it. Kill all the dead bodies in the corridor on the other side. Such a pleasing battle. And dead bodies everywhere. It's hard to imagine that it was caused by a female high school student. Call. Saikobu Sujima beheaded the last zombie. He let out a sigh of relief, relieving some kind of throbbing that was released from his heart. Suddenly, she noticed something strange. The movement on my side is so intense. But Chu Mu's direction was weirdly without any commotion. She frowned and turned to look away. just in time to see Chu Mu wave his hand chicly. A scene where a card is thrown and the head of the last zombie in front of him is cut off. What kind of fighting style is this? Where did he get his cards from? Psychobu Tsushima, who has practiced swordsmanship since she was a child. There was a rare shake in his heart. Sensing the gaze from behind, Chu Mu turned to look at Psychobu Tsushima and said with a smile. Don't be surprised, Budeo, I wonder if you've heard the rumor of Onmyoji. Onmyoji. Hearing Chu Mu say this word, Psychobu Tsushima seemed to realize something. As the successor of the famous Kendo family Busujima family, Psychobu Tsushima has been educated in all aspects since she was a child. In addition to Kendo, he is also familiar with various ancient books. Naturally, I also know the famous Onmyoji faction in Sakurajima country. She thought this was just a rumored hidden family. Unexpectedly, I ran into an Onmyoji today. I see. I didn't expect Mrs. Wisteria to have such an identity. Psychobu Tsushima said to Chu Mu with a respectful face. Excuse me, I will help you conceal the identity of the Onmyoji. It doesn't have to be, just let nature take its course. Chu Mu shrugged. Although he didn't know what Psychobu Tsushima had imagined. As long as this topic can be fooled away, let it be natural. On Psychobu Tsushima's icy face, the expression moved slightly. A few seconds later, she said to Chu Mu seriously. Been taught a lesson. Bujima Psycho's favorability towards you increases by 5%. Current favorability, 25%, friendly. Looking at Psychobu Tsushima with a serious face, Chu Mu looked calm. Pretending to be an independent high-profile temperament. But I couldn't help complaining in my heart. So what did she come up with? Poisonous Psycho Shima helps share half of the enemies. 5 minutes passed quickly. Chu Mu killed about a dozen dead zombies. When the spiritual power is about to bottom out, the side mission finally received a notification of completion. The side mission Stand the Ground has been completed. You got 300 reincarnation copper coins. Bujima Psycho's favorability towards you has increased by 15%. Current favorability, 40%, friendly. Ju Chuan Shizuka's favorability towards you increases by 15%. Current favorability, 35%, friendly. With 300 copper coins in hand, Chu Mu immediately had reinforcement funds again. At the same time, Ju Chuan Shizuka's joyful voice came from the duty room. Everyone, I found the key to the school bus. Now we can get out of here by car. Rei Miyamoto came out of the room with the beautiful school doctor and joined the two people outside. It's not too late, let's leave immediately. Psychobu Tsushima glanced at the group of corpses that were about to move. If you drag it on, I'm afraid it will be difficult to get out. Chu Mu just wanted to say something. A shrill scream was heard from upstairs. The sound was so loud that it almost rang through the entire management building. Don't want. Do not come. In an almost heart-piercing sound, mixed with hysterical fear. It seems, there are other surviving classmates upstairs. Ju Chuan Shizuka showed a worried look. Although her character is very natural and dull, she is very confused in her work. But at least there is a professional ethic as a teacher and a doctor. We can't leave her alone. Bujima-san, and Wisteria-sensei, Miyamoto-san, let's save her, shall we? Looking at the beautiful school doctor with a pleading face, Psychobu Tsushima looked at Chu Mu silently. I want to see his attitude. Chu Mu pondered for a moment, then nodded. Since the school doctor Ju Chuan has said so, then let's go and have a look. If possible, save the students who are still alive. In fact, he knew who made the scream just now. Upstairs is the science laboratory. At this time, there are only 2 remaining members of the protagonist group. Miss Takagi Saya, and military nerd Hirano Toda. In fact, even if Chu Shizuka didn't say anything. Chu Mu will also suggest going upstairs to have a look. Except because there are two important plot characters there. The most important thing is that the voice just now directly triggered a new side mission. Submission, Emergency Rescue. Mission objective, go to the location where the screams came from, and rescue the trapped students. Mission rewards, 200 samsara copper coins, Hirano Toda favorability, Takashiro Saya favorability, level 3 black iron weapon x1. Although this side task, the copper coin reward is 100 less than last time. But the reward included a level 3 black iron weapon. For Chu Mu, who had nothing on hand and didn't even have a single piece of equipment. It's like sending charcoal in a timely manner. Although Chu Mu's mental strength is only about 30 points left. But that's not a huge deal. Miyamoto-san, please open the way ahead with Busujima-san. Chu Mu said to Miyamoto Rei. I'll protect teacher Ju Chuan from behind. Well, leave it to me. Rei Miyamoto didn't even think about it, so she agreed directly. Her affection for Chu Mu is as high as 60%. There is no doubt at all. Shima and Rei Miyamoto, the top melee masters in the two protagonist groups, lead the way. A group of people encountered almost no obstacles in the process of going upstairs. Chu Mu can also take the opportunity to recover some mental strength. Has the secondary protagonist template feat. An additional 10 points of mental power can be restored every minute. Greatly improved his battery life. I still have 300 copper coins on hand, what should I do? If you complete emergency rescue, you can increase the level by 1 level. However, it is only upgraded to LV4, and the combat power has not changed much. Just upgrade a skill first. Currently, the skill level of Fate Tarot is only LV1. Upgrading to LV2 only costs 100 copper coins. The remaining 200 copper coins can be upgraded together with the next task rewards. Thinking of this, Chu Mu made a decision. Consume 100 samsara copper coins to increase the skill level of Fate Tarot. Fate Tarot has been upgraded to LV2. The next upgrade needs to consume 300 samsara copper coins. Please choose the Destiny Tarot you want to unlock. Chapter 7. Please choose the Destiny Tarot you want to unlock. Fool. Chu Mu had already made a decision in his heart. Immediately select the Destiny Tarot you want to unlock. You have unlocked Fate Tarot, the Fool. Fate Tarot, the Fool. Draw the Fool card and consume 100% of the maximum mental power to record the current personal status. Using the Fool within 24 hours will ignore any restrictions and return to the personal status at the time of recording. The cooling time is 24 hours. Oh? It's actually this effect. After browsing the description of the Fool, Chu Mu was taken aback. This doesn't seem to be a support or attack card. But in some cases, it might work wonders. While thinking about it, Chu Mu has already conceived a scenario where the Fool can come in handy. That is to record your own status at midnight every day. If you are bitten by a zombie within the next 24 hours, unfortunately infected with dead body virus, then, you can use the Fool to restore your physical condition to its original state. In other words, with Fools who pre-record personal states, it is equivalent to having a whole card that can save oneself in a critical moment. Not bad. Satisfied, Chu Mu recalled the player's handbook. Originally, he wanted to add some more fighting methods. But there is no disadvantage in having a life-saving skill. After all, the combat power of the protagonist group is not weak. Rei Miyamoto and Psycho Busujima cooperate with each other. As long as you don't encounter hundreds of corpses. Basically no problem. Just can't wait too long. After all, even if it is an important plot role, they are just high school students. Physical strength cannot be compared with the dead bodies that come flooding in like a tide. Bang! Psycho-Bu Tsushima pushed a dead zombie against the wall with a cold expression. Although not killed on the spot. But this zombie also lost its mobility. Busujima-san, you should be able to kill them easily with your skills, right? The blonde school doctor with a proud figure asked curiously from behind. Why do you just fight off these zombies along the way? Psycho Busujima calmed down her breathing, just about to answer. I heard that someone had explained it to her. Because it saves energy. Chu Mu replied with a firm tone. Although we know that the weakness of these zombies is the head. But if everyone has to headshot and kill, it's like being held back by them. Not only does it take energy to kill zombies, but it's also easy to be surrounded. So, as long as the enemy is temporarily incapacitated. In this way, a path can be cleared with the least physical effort. Psycho Busujima nodded. Somewhat surprised, Chu Mu also knew such fighting skills. That's right, just as Mr. Wisteria said. So it is. Ju Chuan Shizuka looked at Chu Mu suddenly. Then he looked at Psycho Busujima again. Ms. Wisteria and Busujima-san are both very good. Ju Chuan Shizuka's favorability towards you increases by 5%. Current favorability, 40%, friendly. Is this all right? See the prompt in front of you. Chu Mu complained in his heart. Although I know that Ju Chuan Shizuka is so stupid and sweet, it's easy to attack. But I didn't expect it to be so free. Answering a question increases the favorability by 5%. I'm afraid it won't be taken directly in a day or two. A few minutes later, a group of people rushed to the third floor. Then I saw a very dramatic scene. A girl with pink hair. Sitting on the ground with a terrified face, covered in blood. In front of her, there was a corpse torn in two. The weapon that caused this result. It was the blood-stained chainsaw that was still buzzing in her hand. It turned out to be Gao Cheng's classmate. Chu Mu thought for a while and walked up to the girl. Takashiro Saya is the childhood sweetheart of the original hero Takashi Komuro. Takashi Komuro has been a classmate since kindergarten. But after Takashi Komuro was killed by himself. The three plot characters on my side. There is no existence familiar with Takashi Saya. So he had to take the initiative to stand up and say hello. Are you all right? Can you stand up? Chu Mu stretched out his hand to Joken Saya with a kind expression. Me. The girl's lips kept trembling, and her pretty face was pale. He immediately hugged Chu Mu's arm and held on tightly. Just now she was almost thrown down by dead zombies. In desperation, he grabbed something and threw it at the zombie. Unexpectedly, it was a powerful chainsaw. Directly split the zombie trying to attack her in half. But this scene also left a pretty bad psychological shadow on her. After all, splitting a person's body with a chainsaw with his own hands. Not spit it out on the spot is considered a good psychological quality. Okay, it's all right now. Looking at Saya Takashiro, who was trembling and staring blankly. Chu Mu patted her on the back in a gentle tone. Then he turned his gaze to another figure in the room. So, this classmate, who are you? My name is Hirano Toda, and I'm with Saya-san. The other survivor was a round, fat man with glasses. He is the last member of the protagonist group of 6, Hirano Toda. So far, the protagonist group in Apocalypse. Except Takashi Komuro, all of them have been collected. Student Hirano, we are going to escape from school by school bus, do you want to come together? Chu Mu did not underestimate Hirano Toda. Although this guy is not very eye-catching in the original work. But if used properly, is a very good tool man. Hirano Toda wanted to agree immediately. But seeing that Takashi Saya didn't speak, he immediately changed his words. I listened to classmate Saya. At this time, you must agree, stupid pig. Takashiro Saya said helplessly. She has calmed down and let go of Chu Mu's arm. I felt a little shy about my performance just now. She doesn't know why. I was very relieved when I saw Chu Mu. There is a complete sense of security. In response, Chu Mu shrugged. Because he inherited Takashi Komuro's favorability. Although it was the first time he met Takashi Saya. But the favorability has already reached 60%. Tied with Rei Miyamoto, the existence with the highest favorability in the protagonist group. Therefore, it is not surprising that there is such a coquettish behavior just now. Teacher Ju Chuan, come and drive. Parking lot, in front of a campus bus. Chu Mu opened the car door. Said to Ju Chuan Shizuka. I trust your driving skills. Hey? Oh, okay. The beautiful school doctor was pushed into the driver's seat in a daze. It looks very unreliable. In fact, Chu Mu knew that her driving skills were not bad. In the original plot, you can lead the protagonist group to shuttle through the city full of zombies. Quick, get in the car. Chu Mu stood at the door of the car and urged. I'll be the last one to help you cut off the back. Teacher. Several girls cast respectful glances at Chu Mu. Even Psychobu Sujima couldn't help being moved. He is really a responsible man. In fact, Chu Mu, who has already determined that the surroundings are safe. I am having fun alone. The side mission emergency rescue has been completed. You got 200 reincarnation copper coins. Hirano Toda's favorability towards you has increased by 15%, currently 35%, friendly. Joken Saya's affection for you has increased by 15%, and it is currently 75%, intimacy. You have obtained the sharp fire axe, please receive it in time. Chapter 8. The campus bus was running smoothly on the road covered with cherry blossoms. A group of people who just escaped from school. They all looked out the window in silence. Even Chu Mu leaned on the seat. The tense nerves are slightly relaxed. Tiredness came like a tide. Although in the process of escaping from school, he gained a lot. But you have to face the threat of dead zombies all the time. Although life safety was not threatened. But mental exhaustion cannot be avoided. Suddenly, the speed of the school bus dropped sharply. The beautiful school doctor who drove the car stepped on the brakes. Turning the steering wheel dangerously, avoiding a wandering dead body. Mr. Ju Chuan, you don't need to care about the life and death of the single dead body. I don't know how many times Chu Mu was knocked on the head by inertia. Can't help but walk to the driver's seat and reminded. Just hit it right there. But. The naturally dumb Ju Chuan Shizuka hesitated. She hasn't turned her head yet. Unaware of the catastrophe caused by the dead body virus. How terrible it is. Don't worry about your driver's license being revoked. I guess there will be no need for such things as a driver's license in the future. Chu Mu glanced down, and was immediately shocked. For ventilation, Ju Chuan Shizuka unbuttoned his shirt. All of a sudden, the eyes were filled with white. Can't even see the steering wheel. It can be said to be quite a spectacular scene. Oh! Shizuka blinked her beautiful golden brown eyes. He nodded his head half understood. It was in stark contrast to her carefree expression. It was the worry and bewilderment on the faces of several other high school students. How come, the phone can't get through, there is no signal at all. Miyamoto Rei anxiously dialed her family's number. But except for the busy tone of beep, there was no reply. Everyone else tried various means of contact. But the communication and network seemed to be completely disconnected. None of them worked properly. For a while, the atmosphere in the school bus became more dull. Taking advantage of this time, Chu Mu also happened to check the harvest so far. Counting the branch reward just now, I still have 400 copper coins. It can be raised by another level, but there is no rush. By the way, there are still weapons waiting to be collected. Rewards for side missions, as long as you don't claim them. It will always be stored in the reward space. However, it must be claimed before leaving the copy. Otherwise it will be gone forever. The Tier 3 black iron weapon rewarded by emergency support is an axe. It's the red and white painted fire axe that you see everywhere in the fire box. Click on the reward information to see its detailed attributes. Sharp fire axe. Level 3, black iron. Damage, 25. Extra, 20% more damage to unarmored targets. Durability, 100%. Remarks, spend 50 samsara copper coins to bring this item out of the dungeon. So. Seeing this prop. Only then did Chu Mu realize how strong his Fate Tarot Death is. The basic damage of death alone is as high as 100 points. And the damage of a level 3 black iron weapon is only a quarter of it. Not to mention, death also comes with a terrifying instant death effect. As expected of an S-rank profession. Chu Mu didn't get the fire axe immediately. Because there is no need to fight now. And he has nowhere to put it. You can't move with a fire axe all the way. It's not too late to get it when you need it. Another thing that caught Chu Mu's attention was props obtained from the dungeon cannot be brought out of the dungeon directly. You have to pay a certain fee. Although 50 copper coins is not much. But if every prop needs to bring out a copy, it adds up to a pretty high cost. It seems that the Reincarnation game uses this method to limit the player's resource acquisition in the instance. Chu Mu roughly understood the meaning behind this setting. Fortunately, the Destiny card he obtained did not have such restrictions. Go to the player's handbook to the instance information page. Chu Mu glanced at the favorability of each plot character. After a series of side missions, under the blessing of the secondary protagonist template effect, he has a good impression among the protagonist group now. Bujima Psycho, 40%, friendly. Sayataka Shiro, 75%, intimacy. Shizuka, 40%, friendly. Rei Miyamoto, 60%, familiarity. Hirano Toda, 35%, friendly. However, what Chu Mu didn't expect was that among all the people, the one with the highest favorability is Sayataka Shiro. Up to 75% favorability. It directly raised the relationship between the two to the intimate level. Sayataka Shiro, it's okay. Chu Mu recalled the plot of the original work. Although Takashi Saya can't compare with Miyamoto Rei and Busujima Psycho in terms of force. But there is a very important plot behind it. That is, the plot related to the Takashiro mansion. If you can go to the Takazo mansion, fill up Sayatakashi's favorability. At that time, there may be unexpected gains. Squeak. Suddenly, the sudden braking made Chu Mu lean back sharply. His head hit the back of the seat intimately again. Teacher Ju Chuan, what's going on? Rubbing the back of his aching head. Chu Mu gritted his teeth and asked loudly. Didn't I tell you to bump into it directly? No, Mr. Ge Teng, look. The beautiful blonde school doctor quickly shook her head. He pointed to the front of the school bus. The people in the car looked in the direction they pointed. I saw an overturned bus emitting black smoke. Blocked in front of the entrance of a tunnel that must be passed through. There is no way to go, what should I do? Ju Chuan Shizuka's voice gradually became low. Gasoline is about to run out, and. Goo. I haven't finished talking yet. Chu Mu heard the sound of unbearable hunger in Ju Chuan Shizuka's stomach. The latter blushed and became shy in a rare way. Get out of the car first, it will be troublesome if you get stuck in the car by zombies. Chu Mu looked around. Because of the movement caused by the brakes just now, the nearby dead bodies gradually approached. Fortunately, the locations are relatively scattered. Not enough to form an encirclement net without dead ends. Teacher, what should we do next? Rei Miyamoto subconsciously asked Chu Mu. Ju Chuan Shizuka, Takazo Saya, and Busujima Saiko also cast their gazes at him. Unknowingly, they have begun to rely on this man gradually. Chapter 9. It's getting dark, let's find a safe private house nearby. Chu Mu looked around and spoke out the action plan in an orderly manner. Have a good night's rest, and wait for the daylight to shine before you act. And, by the way, I can also find some food to replenish my energy. In fact, according to the original plot, during this period of time, the male protagonist Takashi Komuro fell out with the group headed by Koichi Wisteria. During the dispute, he got off the car in a fit of anger, and separated from the team with Rei Miyamoto. It's just that Takashi Komuro is dead. And it was killed by Chu Mu, who played Koichi Wisteria. Therefore, the plot at this time and the original work have already appeared very big differences. However, everything is still under Chu Mu's control. I agree with the teacher's plan. Takashi Saya nodded and approved Chu Mu's plan. If you act rashly at night, you might be bitten by a zombie. For safety's sake, it's better to stay indoors after dark. I agree. Miyamoto Rei was the second to agree. She doesn't really have any idea. As long as it is Chu Mu's proposal, she feels all right. After I settle down, I can help go out and find supplies. Saiko Busujima said lightly. She took out the polished ash knife. Watch out for zombies around you. I think it's okay too. Hirano Toda weakly raised his hand. It is a pity that his opinion is not important in the crowd. Finally, before dark, a group of people. I found a house where I could stay. Bang. Okay, that should be all right. Chu Mu closed the fence gate tightly and clapped his hands. Those dead bodies should not be able to enter such a high door. It's fine even if we have a party in the house. Hearing this, Ju Chuan Shizuka finally relaxed. He patted his towering chest comfortably. All of a sudden, there was a dazzling wave. It's great, I can finally have a good rest. Woo, I hope there are clothes that fit in this wardrobe. Saying that, Ju Chuan Shizuka pulled the corner of her skirt with some distress. The cloth that was torn in half by Saiko Busujima couldn't hide the alluring and delicious skin at all. Go look in the bedroom. I see women's shoes in the shoe cabinet. There should be women's clothes. Chu Mu smiled, walked into the room, and joined the others. The bright lights dispel the darkness, making the room feel extra warm. As soon as he entered the living room, he saw two young and energetic bodies lying on the sofa. I'm exhausted. I haven't exercised so intensely since I was a child. Takashiro Saya lay weakly on the armrest of the sofa. The young lady of the Joukeng family has been pampered since she was a child. In terms of IQ and judgment, she probably won't lose to anyone in the protagonist group. But in terms of physical strength, it's really not flattering. Dad, how are you doing now? Rei Miyamoto lay on the sofa, covering her eyes with her arms. My heart is full of hesitation and anxiety. The most important family members cannot be contacted. Boyfriend and childhood sweetheart also died when the dead body exploded. No matter how strong Miyamoto Rei was at this time, she's just a helpless high school girl. It's okay, at least we're still alive. Chu Mu sat next to the girl and tried to stroke her hair with his hands. With his current 60% favorability, this kind of intimacy shouldn't make him feel disgusted. I can take you to find your family. Hearing Chu Mu's promise, Rei Miyamoto and Saya Takashiro's eyes lit up. Really, teacher? Of course, this is the responsibility of being a teacher. A reassuring smile appeared on Chu Mu's face. Miyamoto Rei's eyes were a little blurred. In this doomsday where no one can protect themselves, Chu Mu is willing to make such a commitment. It's already very heartwarming. My family cannot fall so easily, so you must escort me home safely. The somewhat arrogant Takashiro Saya said with a blushing pretty face. If you perform well, maybe my father will recognize you. At that time, you can stay with me at Gao Cheng's house. The implication is to let Chu Mu perform well. Even if she meets her father at that time, she will agree with them. As for what? With Takashi Saya's thin skin, naturally she couldn't tell. After all, her affection for Chu Mu is the only one who has reached the intimate level. Even if Chu Mu confesses to her now, the success rate will be infinitely close to 100%. It's too early. Chu Mu shook his head silently in his heart. His villain's task is to kill or subdue all plot characters. If at this time the Takashiro Saya is captured, I'm afraid other girls won't be 100% fond of him again. So, Chu Mu's choice is to play the long game and catch big fish. Simply put, it is Neptune tactics. Anyway, the favorability degree will not run on its own. There are only some drinks in the refrigerator, no food. Saikobu Sujima walked over from the kitchen. Seeing the three people behaving intimately, they didn't say much. He looked directly at Chu Mu, who was surrounded by two girls. It seems that I have to go out tonight. Chu Mu is also a little hungry, after all, from entering the instance. He couldn't replenish any energy. Bujima-san, you stay here, I'll go out and look for food. Hearing Chu Mu's arrangement, Saikobu Sujima showed some doubts on her cold face. She waved the wooden knife in her hand, not to be outdone. I can go with you too. I mean, you stay here to protect teacher Ju Chuan and the others. Chu Mu smiled and explained. If we both leave, it's going to be bad if something happens here. Saikobu Sujima thought about it for a moment. Finally, he slightly bowed his head to Chu Mu. Sorry, I was abrupt. I will protect teacher Ju Chuan and the two junior girls. As for Hirano Toda, sadly left in a corner. Well, then I'm relieved. Chu Mu was a little surprised, he didn't expect Saikobu Sujima to be persuaded by him so easily. But after thinking about it, it's normal. As a child of a traditional family in the Sakurajima country, Saikobu Sujima is a very good traditional woman. That is the classic image of Yamato Nadeko. Although another face will be revealed during the battle. But there is no doubt that Saikobu Sujima is well versed in the survival of women in Sakurajima. That is a man who obeys his approval. In her eyes, Chu Mu is even a teacher who should be respected. Another onmyoji with mysterious powers. Should have the right to speak of the team. Although Busujima Saiko herself has a good combat power. But she never considered calling the shots on other people. Instead, he subconsciously lowered his posture and catered to Chu Mu. It's no wonder Saikobu Sujima's popularity ranks first in the original work. After pushing the door open, Chu Mu thought silently in his heart. Sister Yu, who can go to the battlefield outside, enter the kitchen and warm the bed inside. Simply the perfect partner. Of course, the premise is that the knot in Saikobu Sujima's heart can be untied. In this regard, Chu Mu naturally had a countermeasure early on. But now, the most important thing is to get something to eat. The reason why Chu Mu insisted on finding food by himself. In addition to considering the factors of the distribution of combat power, there is another more important reason. Warn. Night falls. The hunting time is on. When you act at night, you may encounter more powerful enemies. But at the same time, all kill rewards and mission rewards are doubled. Chapter 10. The danger is greater at night than during the day. See the prompt that hunting moment is enabled. Chu Mu has been thinking about countermeasures since just now. However, the rewards are also more generous. The main task requires 30 days of survival in the main city of the bed. In the future, we must act at night. Looking at the brightly lit streets, Chu Mu felt a sense of urgency. For he knows that soon, the whole city will experience an EMP shock. During this time, all electronic devices will be unavailable. At night, it will be pitch black. It's better to take advantage of the normal power now and develop quickly. At least now there are street lights to provide light at night. Whoosh! A card with a skull pattern flew out of the shadows. It directly cut off the neck of a zombie near the exit of the alley. Before the corpse slumped to the ground, it turned into a card. It automatically flew to Chu Mu's hand. Kill dead zombie, LV2. You get 4 rounds of copper coins. Streak rewards are on. Killing within 1 minute will refresh the killing streak time. The level of dead zombies at night has been increased by 1. However, the copper coins obtained by killing have also increased. After glancing at the reminder, Chu Mu frowned. And kill streak rewards. A fading progress bar appeared in the upper left corner of his vision. There are no specific rewards yet. But since it is a kill streak, it should need to kill more enemies to trigger it. In that case, let's kill them all the way. Chu Mu turned his gaze to the other side of the street. His target was a nearby convenience store. Through the transparent window, you can see that the shelves are full of various products. Among them are all kinds of food. However, groups of dead zombies were crowded in front of the convenience store. It is estimated that when the virus broke out, some people also wanted to loot convenience stores, but immediately died in the hands of the influx of dead bodies. Causes more and more enemies nearby. It would be too troublesome to clean up one by one. Chu Mu drew 2 cards at random and killed the 2 dead bodies closest to him. While refreshing the killing streak reward time, he is also constantly observing the 4 weeks. Although Fate Tarot Death can kill the body in seconds. But there are certain limitations. For example, although this skill has no cooldown time, but only 1 card can be drawn at a time to attack 1 target. It is impossible to kill a large number of enemies in a short time. If you only rely on cards to clean up the zombies, not to mention the effort, it will also consume a lot of mental energy. There is. Chu Mu glanced at all kinds of vehicles parked in disorder on the street. There was a sudden idea in my heart. These cars may have spare gasoline in them. If you can get gasoline and lighters, matches and other ignition devices, we can have a fire attack. After making up his mind, Chu Mu immediately moved towards a nearby red car. The owner of this car has transformed into a dead body. Trapped in the driver's seat, slamming the windows constantly. Chu Mu directly rewarded it with a piece of death. After confirming that there are no other threats in the car, he reached for the steering wheel and pulled out the car key. After a few tries, the trunk was opened. There were a few changes of clothes and empty drink bottles inside. The next car. Not finding what he was looking for, Chu Mu pouted. He moved towards another car quietly. The door of this car has been opened. But the owner of the car did not escape. Instead, he died not far from the car. The corpse was gnawed to pieces, leaving only half of the body. Several bloody zombies were wandering around the leftovers. It seems that they are the culprits who killed the car owner. 3. Okay. Chu Mu held his breath, trying not to make any movement. Draw a card directly from the void. Kill one of the dead bodies. Kill dead zombie, LV2. You get 4 rounds of copper coins. 5 consecutive kills. Trigger the kill streak bonus. Within 10 seconds, you will recover 10% of your maximum mental power. Oh! Feeling the clarity in my mind. Chu Mu's eyes lit up, so this is the killing streak reward. Although 10% mental power seems a drop in the bucket. But his mental power at this time is under the addition of attributes and destiny cards. There are as many as 335 points. Even with only 10% of the replies, there are more than 30 points. Enough for Chu Mu to cast death a few more times. It's good to support war with war, I like it. Chu Mu felt relieved immediately. Draw 2 cards again, and destroy the other 2 dead bodies in seconds. Then find the key from the driver's seat that the owner didn't have time to take away. Open the trunk as before. Hey? This is appearing in front of Chu Mu. It is a white package with a red cross. And 2 blue petrol cans. You found the household medical kit. You found a full gasoline can. Not only did I find the spare gasoline needed in the plan. There are additional discoveries. Household medical kit. Level 4 bronze. Limitation, can be used 3/3 times. Effect, treat minor injuries, immediately restore 20 points of health, and within the next 30 minutes, restore 5 points of health every minute. Remarks, pay 90 reincarnation copper coins, you can take this item out of the dungeon. Bronze props or medical items, earned. Seeing the effect of the medical kit, Chu Mu was overjoyed. This item is more practical than the fire axe rewarded by side missions. And it can be used 3 times. Even if you can't use it yourself, you can sell the copy to other players. Putting away the medical bag, Chu Mu weighed the gasoline barrel. Both gasoline cans are full of gasoline. That way, it's just something close to igniting. After finding a few more cars, Chu Mu was finally in a sedan with an ashtray. I found a lighter that was still usable. During the period, I did not forget to use skills to refresh the killing streak time. It's just that the reward for 10 consecutive kills is to restore 10% of life. This made Chu Mu quite disappointed. It seems that the killing streak reward is random, and you can't completely count on it to last. Fortunately, Chu Mu didn't plan to rely on killing streak rewards to solve the immediate troubles. He unscrewed the lid of the gasoline can, poured all the gasoline in an open space. Then he smashed the empty gasoline can onto the gasoline-filled ground. Bang! The crisp sound immediately attracted the nearby dead bodies. The crowd of corpses crowded in front of the convenience store moved when they heard the sound. He rushed towards the direction of the sound. It's now! Chu Mu quickly ignited the petrol line that had been pulled out deliberately. In an instant, a line of fire burst out. Directly ignite the corpses that stepped into the gasoline pit. The burning dead zombies did not die immediately. It took more than 10 seconds to completely lose the ability to move. It fell to the ground as a pile of black wreckage. At the same time, a series of reminder messages appeared in front of Chu Mu's eyes like swiping the screen. Kill dead zombie, LV2, and get 4 rounds of copper coins. Kill dead zombie, LV2, and get 4 rounds of copper coins. Kill dead zombie, LV2, and get 4 rounds of copper coins. 20 consecutive kills. Trigger the kill streak bonus. Within 10 seconds, you will recover 10% of your maximum mental power and health. 30 consecutive kills. Trigger the killing streak reward. Chapter 11. The flame lasted for more than 10 minutes before it gradually extinguished. Chu Mu was not in a hurry to accept the results. Wait patiently for all the dead zombies to die clean. I stepped into the convenience store cautiously. This wave of fire attack directly allowed him to achieve 50 consecutive kills. 50 consecutive kills. Trigger the kill streak bonus. The income of copper coins obtained during the killing streak is doubled. You got an extra 200 reincarnation copper coins. Double the income of copper coins, not bad. Chu Mu called out the player's handbook. The copper coins on his body once again accumulated to more than 800 figures. Finally, there is a kill streak reward that can be seen. Previously, they were rewards such as restoring stamina, health, and mental strength. Counting the previous accumulated gains, this massacre brought Chu Mu a benefit of 400 copper coins. It's almost equivalent to a multi-quest reward. Where there is risk, there is benefit. This is the rule of reincarnation game. Compared with the various unfair treatment in the real society, Chu Mu prefers the space of reincarnation where hard work pays off. Then it's time to search. The convenience store was pitch black, with no lights on. After all, the clerk is probably dead. Chu Mu groped around the wall and finally found the light switch. Snapped. The bright lights instantly reflect the scene in the store. After seeing the surrounding environment clearly, Chu Mu was shocked. Because behind the counter just a few steps away from him, there is a dead zombie wearing a blue and white convenience store uniform. This dead body seems to be a naturally transformed zombie. There is no wound on the body. If you ignore the ferocious bloodshot eyes and the strange complexion of pale blue, a pretty young woman indeed. Fortunately, there was a counter blocking me, otherwise I might have been attacked just now. Chu Mu breathed a sigh of relief, reached out and pulled out a death card. Cleanly cut off the head of the beautiful zombie. This also reminded him. Although the income at night is high, it is also dangerous. After shopping around the convenience store, after confirming that there are no more enemies, only then did Chu Mu start to sweep the shelves in peace. He found a dusty hiking bag in the lounge of the convenience store. Although a bit worn out, it has a great capacity. Can hold a lot of supplies. Canned food is more convenient, so take more. Chu Mu hummed a ditty and started a happy 0 yuan purchase. There are still bento and oden. If you can't take them away, just eat them. Because today is only the first day of the dead body virus outbreak. So some food in the convenience store is still fresh. Just warm it up a little and it's ready to eat. Chu Mu turned on the microwave and put a pork chop bento into it. Taking advantage of the heating time, he opened the Destiny illustrated book. The fire attacked just now, except for the reincarnation copper coins. It also allowed him to harvest dozens of Destiny cards. Among them are 2 level 2 silver quality dead zombie cards. Inverted equipment in the illustrated book. Each card can provide 25 points of spiritual power limit. Chu Mu immediately replaced the original cards with these 2 silver destiny cards. In this way, 1 piece of Xia Shixiao and 2 pieces of dead zombie were equipped in the destiny book. A total of 30 points of mental power is added to the upper limit, and the effect of reducing the mental power consumption of skills by 2 points. 360 points of spiritual power limit, you can cast the Tarot of Destiny Death more than 40 times in a row. Looking at the overall rising attributes, Chu Mu felt the joy that his strength was constantly improving. Although he has entered this instance for less than 24 hours. But at this time, compared with when he first came to the reincarnation space, the strength has been upgraded to a higher level. Ding! The microwave made a crisp sound. Let Chu Mu, who was in deep thought, come back to his senses. The nose twitched slightly. Immediately there was a smell of food. This whetted the appetite of Chu Mu, who hadn't eaten all day. Although it's an instant bento sold in a convenience store, it tastes pretty good. After refilling the stomach, Chu Mu took out a bottle of soda from the freezer. Leisurely poured into the cup. Raise your glass to the dead zombies wandering outside the window. To death, and to the sun of tomorrow. When Chu Mu returned to the house where he was staying with a large bag of supplies on his back, surprised to find that it was not Saikobu Tsujima who was watching the night outside. It was Hirano Toda, a military nerd with vigilance written all over his face. Hearing movement nearby, Hirano Toda was startled. He quickly picked up the nail gun he brought out from school. But after seeing who came clearly, he immediately breathed a sigh of relief. "Teacher, are you back?" "Well, I found some food." Chu Mu nodded and asked curiously. "Who asked you to come out on duty?" "It's Miyamoto-san and Saya-san." Hirano Toda scratched his head in embarrassment. "It says you can't enter the house before dinner." "Oh." Chu Mu patted his shoulder. "Then go for it. I'll come out later and bring you something to eat. Canned food cannot be eaten directly. You have to pry open the well-sealed can first." Therefore, Chu Mu did not directly distribute materials to the military house. "Thank you, teacher," Hirano Toda said emotionally. Hirano Toda's favorability towards you has increased by 5%. Current favorability, 40%, friendly. See the prompt message that suddenly appeared in front of you. The corners of Chu Mu's eyes twitched slightly. Leaving the confused Hirano Toda behind, he went straight into the house. It always feels weird to check the favorability of men. Shaking his head, Chu Mu scanned the living room. Strangely, there was no one else in the living room. Instead, there was a crash sound from the bathroom. With the whispers of the girls. And the graceful figure reflected by the light on the bathroom door. Enough to make people think. So I went to take a shower. No wonder they want to pay Hirano Toda. Chu Mu immediately understood. For girls, anything can be tolerated. Just don't take a shower. Even if it's the end of the world, the outside is full of dead bodies. The body must also be cleaned up. Chu Mu just put down the hiking bag. The bathroom door was pushed open from the inside out. A steaming figure came out from inside. Hey! Teacher! Rei Miyamoto wiped her wet hair. With a flushed face, she tugged at the bath towel on her body. Although, this half-covered look makes her even more alluring. I brought some food back from outside, and I can come over for dinner after changing my clothes. Chu Mu took out a bunch of canned food from his backpack. And a can opener I found in a convenience store. Pry the cans open one by one. When opening the second can, I heard a rustling sound from the side. Ah, I can smell food. Chu Mu only had time to hear an excited cry. Then he felt two heavy things pressing on his shoulders. Mr. Wisteria, you brought back a lot of things, can I eat them now? Ju Chuan Shizuka looked at the table full of food with bright eyes. Okay, choose by yourself. Chu Mu sighed. He hoped that the beautiful school doctor would realize that. He is a normal man anyway. Although it feels pretty good. Shizuka took an open can. Enjoy it to your heart's content. By the way, we have already discussed it when we took a bath. Suddenly, it seemed that he remembered something. Ju Chuan Shizuka said casually. Everyone decided to go to the police station in the Eastern District first to find Miyamoto's family. Oh? Yeah. Chu Mu frowned. This is the plot he was waiting for. Although judging from the original plot, Miyamoto was doomed not to see her family. But this trip will bring the protagonist group a lot of guns and ammunition. The key to everything lies in this natural stupid school doctor in front of him. No problem, then we will leave tomorrow. Chu Mu said with a smile. After all, I've promised to help them find their families. As soon as the voice fell, a reminder message popped up in front of his eyes. You have triggered the side mission Break Through the Blockade. Chapter 12. Subquest, Breaking Through the Blockade. Mission Objective, the east and west districts of the main city are separated by a river. If you want to go to the east district, you need to pass the only bridge across the river. However, after the outbreak of the dead body virus, this bridge has been blocked by the police. You must find a way to use another one-way to cross the river. Mission Reward, after arriving in the Eastern District, get 200 Reincarnation copper coins, Miyamoto Rei's favorability. After browsing the task description, Chu Mu made an evaluation. The rewards are mediocre, after all, it's a free task. He just follows the plot. You can easily complete this side mission. That's the benefit of joining the protagonist group from the beginning. Not only can trigger many side tasks, you can also use the power of the protagonist group to clear some obstacles. The most important thing is that you can get the powerful equipment that appears in the plot. When I think of Ju Chuan, Shizuka's good girlfriend can be called a collection in the arsenal. Chu Mu couldn't help but want to complain. Even in the special police force, there is no way to hide so many guns at home, right? The original work is simply to forcibly send weapons to the protagonist group to enhance their combat power. However, in this dungeon, Reincarnation players like Chu Mu are cheaper. Not long after, Miyamoto Rei, who had changed her clothes. Saikobu Sujima and Saya Takashiro also came to the living room. Canned food, just barely. Saya Takashiro frowned slightly. Swallow a piece of sardine. As the young lady of the Takashiro family, I have always lived a pampered life. No matter who has suffered this kind of hardship, he subconsciously speaks out his thoughts. Then, the eldest lady seemed to react. These cans were brought back from the outside by Chu Mu risking his life. No, but I don't mean to complain. Takashi Saya quickly explained. It's better to say, thanks to the teacher for bringing back these foods. Otherwise, I will act hungry tomorrow. It's okay, if there is anything you want to eat, I will pay attention next time. Chu Mu said with a smile on his face. He really didn't care about Takashi Saya's unintentional words. Because he knew that the eldest lady didn't do it on purpose. Otherwise, it wouldn't be easy to increase the favorability. After bringing back the food, everyone's favorability has increased by 5%. After all, from their point of view, in order to find food for them, Chu Mu, at the risk of his life being bitten by a dead body, travel through a dangerous city. If this doesn't increase the goodwill, it's too unreasonable. Among the crowd, Saya Takashiro still has the highest favorability. After this rise, it directly broke through to the astonishing value of 80%. Although it is still an intimate relationship. But it can also be seen that when facing Chu Mu, her arrogant attributes, there is obvious softening. More jiao than ao. Of course, when facing other people, she still acts like a young lady. It can be reflected from the fact that Hirano Toda was directly driven out to watch the gate. Ignore it for one night, and the sun will rise as usual the next day. After filling up the school bus with the gasoline cans found yesterday, a group of people set foot on the journey again. Is this really okay? Obviously everyone has friends and family that they care about. Miyamoto Rei said with some embarrassment. Although she has decided to go to her family first. But she felt it was unfair to other people. My father opened a dojo abroad, and he hasn't come back for several years. Saikobu Sujima holds a wiped white oak knife. He comforted him in a soft tone. So, I don't have much to worry about in this city. Miyamoto-san, don't worry about it. Hirano Toda also echoed. Me too. It's a pity that his voice was overshadowed by Takashi Saya soon. My family also lives in the East District, so it happened to be on the way. The eldest lady brushed the pink hair beside her ears nonchalantly. It won't take much time. In fact, she was a little hesitant. Although very concerned about the safety of their parents. But I don't want to meet my family so early. After all, once back home, it is likely to be under the strong control of parents. Especially in this dangerous world. I am afraid that even freedom of movement will not be obtained. Boom! Suddenly, a burst of flames erupted in the distant street. The huge noise quickly attracted all the attention. What happened? Chu Mu, who had been resting with his eyes closed, frowned. Get to the driver's seat and look ahead. I don't know, but there seem to be many people moving in front. Ju Chuan Shizuka stepped on the brake in doubt and stopped the car. All the nearby dead bodies were attracted by the sound of the explosion. There is no need to worry about the risk of the school bus being surrounded by zombies. There was gunfire. Hirano Toda listened attentively. A look of shock appeared on the round face. It came from the direction of the explosion. The sound should be a shotgun. Gunshots? Shotguns. Chu Mu raised his eyebrows. He vaguely remembered that in the original plot, it seems that there is indeed such a bridge. After the hero and Rei Miyamoto got separated from the bus of the protagonist group, on the way to meet by motorcycle, a group of armed thugs passed by. Because the normal social order has collapsed, So these thugs burned, killed, and looted in an extremely blatant and domineering way. Even the protagonist was almost hit by them. Explosions, gunshots, most likely these guys. This made Chu Mu look serious. Although these thugs are ordinary people with rubbish attributes. But they have guns in their hands. And it's a powerful shotgun. If hit directly at close range. Even if he has 200 health points. I'm afraid that if you don't die, you will be seriously injured. Fortunately, I prepared the fool in advance. Chu Mu put his hands into his pockets, and his heart suddenly became more at ease. With the fool present, even if he is severely injured, it can also be restored to its full strength in an instant. However, there is only one chance to save this life. And only he can use it. So, I'll go ahead and explore the way. Chu Mu didn't want to take the people in the car with him. In order to avoid unexpected accidents, causing his villain mission to fail. With great difficulty, the favorability points were almost filled up by all the staff. At this time, there must be no moths. Teacher, shall I go with you? Miyamoto Rei wanted to show herself in front of Chu Mu. Eager to try, he raised his hand and introduced himself. You and classmate Budeo stay in the car to protect Mr. Ju Chuan. Chu Mu shook his head. Open the door and get out of the bus. Ms. Wisteria is really reassuring. Ju Chuan Shizuka looked at Chu Mu's back and said bluntly. Even in such a dangerous situation, as long as he is there, I feel very safe. Even Psychobu Sujima couldn't help but nod in approval of Shizuka's statement. Along the way, Chu Mu's performance won her favor. If it is said that he was only respected because of his identity before. So now, in the eyes of Psychobu Sujima, Chu Mu. He is an upright and responsible person. Even if it is judged by the almost strict family rules of the Bujima family. Also a rare good man. Psychobu Sushima caressed the wooden knife, whispering with lowered eyes. If it's him. Maybe you can. Meanwhile, on the other side. It really is these guys. Cautiously peeked out from behind the cabin of a truck. Chu Mu quickly took the scene in front of him into his eyes. A few barebacked thugs with tattoos all over their bodies. He is laughing and attacking the surrounding targets with a shotgun. Whether it is ordinary people fleeing for their lives. Or a dead body that has been infected. They don't care at all. It seems to be simply immersed in the pleasure of destruction and killing. As soon as he got close, a reminder popped up in front of Chu Mu. It's just that this time it's not a side mission. But trigger a time-limited challenge event, reckless blockers. Challenge event? Or time-limited? Chu Mu looked surprised. This was the first time he encountered event information other than missions. However, when he saw the event content and rewards, an idea suddenly came to mind. Maybe, it can be done like this. Chapter 13. Limited Time Challenge Event, Reckless Road Blocker. Description of the event: a group of domineering thugs are blocking your path, kill them. Time limit: the rioters will evacuate from the current location after 15 minutes. Event reward: for every thug killed, 50 reincarnation copper coins will be rewarded. Challenge reward: when you kill 5 thugs in total, you will get an additional level 5 bronze item. It can be seen from the description. The difference between event and task. Event rewards are obtained directly, not after completing all tasks. Therefore, after Chu Mu saw the reckless road blocker incident, a thought suddenly came to my mind. As long as you can kill 2 thugs, you will get 100 copper coins. The number of copper coins he holds can exceed 900, and he can upgrade 2 levels in a row. Upgrade directly from LV3 to LV5 and gain new professional skills. With the new skills, dealing with the remaining thugs is naturally not a problem. If you attack directly, I have the first-hand advantage. The first death card can definitely kill 1. Chu Mu poked his head out and glanced at the distribution of the rioters. There are 5 enemies in total. To be on the safe side, Chu Mu took out the player's handbook first and upgraded by 1 level. Then add all 6 points of free attributes obtained after the upgrade to the physique. In this way, his health reached 260 points. Your level has been raised to LV4. You need to pay 500 reincarnation copper coins for the next upgrade. Fortunately, there is no sudden price increase. Seeing the expected prompt, Chu Mu breathed a sigh of relief. He was still hesitating whether to upgrade first or upgrade skills first. Now that we have encountered this incident, there is no need to continue to struggle. The next thing is to kill the enemy in front of you. Chu Mu held his breath, his whole body tensed up. While Amari reloaded, waving his arm, throwing a black card. Destiny Tarot, Death. The thug hadn't had time to react. I felt a sudden sharp pain in my chest. And the uncomfortable feeling of suffocation. Death pierced directly into his chest. But it didn't kill it immediately. But after a brief pause, a pitch-black flame spreads from the pierced part. The raging black flame quickly covered the whole body of the thug. In his twisted face, speechless, condensed into a giant death in a cloak and holding a scythe. Sieve. The surrounding thugs stared at this scene dumbfounded. The giant death god waved his sickle mercilessly. Directly cut the black flame-ridden thugs in half. You caused 140 points of real damage to the gun-wielding thug, LV5. Instant death effect activates. Gun thug, LV5, is dead. You got 50 reincarnation copper coins. You got the destiny card gun-wielding thug. I saw 2 messages floating in front of my eyes. Chu Mu's first reaction was that these thugs were level 5 enemies. No wonder they are so fleshy, they can't be instantly killed by damage alone. However, their physique and will attributes must not reach 20 points. Otherwise, the instant death effect of the Destiny Tarot will not be triggered. This is the first time Chu Mu has seen the instant death effect trigger scene of death. On the visual level, it is both mysterious and gorgeous. There is a weird beauty. However, cool is cool. This time it messed up his plans a bit. He was going to kill a thug in a sneaky way. Quickly kill the second one without being detected. In order to obtain enough funds to upgrade to LV5. But now, the rest of the armed thugs are on the alert. Who's there? Here, come out for me. Don't play tricks. 2 tattooed men with short-barreled shotguns. Searching for the truck where Chu Mu is hiding. It is difficult to hide any longer when the 2 sides are sandwiched. If you retreat, you will expose yourself to everyone's sight. In this way, we can only fight. Chu Mu gritted her teeth and became determined. A death card flew towards one of the thugs. It's a pity that the 50% chance of instant death was not triggered this time. Just cut the thug's jugular artery. Let him fall to the ground with serious injuries and collapse in a pool of blood. He's not dead, is he? In this regard, Chu Mu has long made a decision. He stretched out his hand out of thin air, raised it high towards the sky. Before several other thugs came to help. Suddenly there was a red fire axe in his hand. Then he slashed at the fallen thugs. Blood splattered everywhere. Fatal blow. You deal 53 physical damage to gun thug, LV5. Gun-armed thug, LV5, has died. You got 50 reincarnation copper coins. You got the destiny card gun-wielding thug. Event challenge progress, 2/5. Chu Mu didn't even bother to read a series of reminder messages. He directly called out the player's handbook. All the net worth is clicked on the upgrade option. Upgrade. Fortunately, there is no delay in the Samsara game, and there is no network fluctuation. Chu Mu's application was approved instantly. In an instant, there were only a dozen or so pitiful copper coins left on his panel. And the level was directly raised to LV5. Your level has been raised to LV5, and you will get 1 free attribute point. Based on the growth of Apostle of Destiny, you will get an additional 5 free attribute points. You have mastered a new professional skill, Destiny Puppet, LV1. Fate Puppet, what effect? On the one hand, add all 6 free attribute points to the physique. Chu Mu browsed the description of the new skill. Fate Puppet. Level, LV1/5. Effect, you can now summon the unit sealed in the Fate card to fight for you. The unit level must not exceed LV20, and each summon consumes, level X10, mental power. Upgrade, it takes 1000 copper coins to upgrade to LV2, and the upper limit of summoning at level 20 will be increased after the upgrade. Summon skills. Well done. Chu Mu was overjoyed. Directly use up the 2 destiny cards, gun-wielding thugs obtained by killing the mob just now. His mental power instantly dropped by 96 points. But there are 2 more vicious thug followers with shotguns beside him. Judging by their faces, they are the 2 people who were killed by Chu Mu just now. What's going on? What's the situation? Several other thugs followed the sound. But he was horrified to find that the companion who had been chopped off by the Reaper just now. At this time, he was standing beside a strange young man intact. What the hell is going on here? A series of accidents directly wiped out the thugs who were fearless these days. Shot. Chu Mu made a quick decision and hid in a corner. Then give orders to the 2 mob puppets. Directly attack the companion in front of you. Hit the closest ones. If you can't kill them, you have to make them lose their fighting power first. The remaining thugs had no idea at all. Their companions will shoot at them. The 2 people who walked in the front bear the brunt. He was almost full of shotgun shells, his body was directly beaten to a bloody mess, and he died on the spot. The last remaining thug, faced with the pursuit of 2 companions. With nowhere to go, after desperately shooting and wounding a gun-wielding thug. Also shot directly by the shotgun. In an instant, a series of reminders appeared in front of Chu Mu. Kill armed thug, LV5, X3, you get 150 reincarnation copper coins. The event is over. Kill a total of 5 armed thugs, LV5, and meet the challenge requirements. You have obtained an additional level 5 bronze item. Chapter 14. It's over. Seeing the last thug fall. A large amount of event information is displayed in front of my eyes. Chu Mu let out a long breath and relaxed. Although there were some unexpected factors in this battle. But overall, the results are fine. Fate Puppet, very good skill. Turning his head, Chu Mu glanced at the 2 thugs with guns standing beside him. Although one of them was shot several times and was covered in blood. Putting it on a normal person has already made ghosts howl. But the mob summoned as a puppet hardly made any movement. You only need a destiny card and spiritual power to summon such a loyal bodyguard. It's a great deal. Unsummoned the 2 thugs. Chu Mu found that the fate card used for summoning had not been returned. This shows that using the fate puppet skill needs to consume the fate card. Even so, the strength of this skill is very high. This means that as long as Chu Mu's mental strength is sufficient, you can pull up an army by consuming fate cards. Because fate puppet has no duration limit. Until the puppet dies, it will always exist. The second is that there is no limit to the number of puppets summoned. Summon as many as you want. As long as there are enough destiny cards. As expected of an S-rank legendary profession. Today, Chu Mu once again felt the power of the Apostle of Destiny. Reckless Highway Blocker Event. Chu Mu received a total of 250 samsara copper coins. Among them, 100 copper coins are used for upgrades. Now I still have less than 200 copper coins in my body. The 3 thugs who were killed by the Puppet of Destiny. They also contributed a respective destiny card. The highest quality is bronze. Destiny card, Gun Armed Thug. Level 5 Bronze. Destiny, Devil. Tags, Humans, Gunners, Chaos. Upright, Gun damage plus 10, reduce willpower by 3 points. Inversion, shock on a single target, cooldown for 30 minutes. Remarks, leaping into the mud of chaos, showing off your might when order collapses. Oh! This card actually has its own skills. See the attributes for gun thugs. Chu Mu's eyes lit up, quite novel. Upright position can increase gun damage. 10 points of damage is already a very high increase. Refer to the level 3 black iron weapon Sharp Fire Axe. A total of only 25 points of damage. This card provides most of the value. However, the negative effect is to reduce the wool attribute by 3 points. This is very bad for Chu Mu. However, the inversion effect of this card is refreshing. Although there is no bonus, it gives a shock and awe ability. Shock, if the target's wool is lower than yours, it will be stunned and unable to act within 5 seconds. 5 seconds is enough to be fatal in a fierce battle. If used correctly, use this ability at just the right time. It can even turn the tide of battle directly. After thinking about it, Chu Mu replaced the card Dead Body Zombie. Although the upper limit of mental power has been reduced by 25 points. But in exchange for a useful control skill, it is not a loss. By the way, the event also rewarded a bronze item. Go back quickly after counting the proceeds. It's not good to keep them waiting too long. Click to open the previous reward information. Chu Mu sees an extra challenge reward for this event. Standard Tactical Belt. Level 5 Bronze. Effect, there are 4 small storage slots, which can be used to place grenades, medicines, and other props. Effect, with 1 holster slot, you can place pistol-type weapons. Remarks, this item is an event reward and can be taken out of the copy directly. Not bad, very practical. Chu Mu will equip the belt immediately. When you get back to the car, you can put the household medical kit you got before into it. Although there are carrying restrictions, it is still a storage item. Can provide no small convenience. However, what made Chu Mu care more was the content in the notes. Props rewarded by the event, can you bring out a dungeon without paying additional fees? Think about it too, after all Chu Mu has completed the excessive challenge goal. Only then did he get a reward of a level 5 bronze item. If it all costs money to bring out a copy, then the event reward is too meaningless. It might as well be easier to do side quests. A few minutes later, Chu Mu returned to the school bus and joined the crowd. There is a group of armed thugs in front of them, and they are fighting just now. After considering his words, Chu Mu spoke half-truthfully. But I observed for a while, and they left after leaving a few corpses. It may be that the dead bodies around will gather because of the gunshots. There are no enemies ahead, you can drive directly there. Although there are some loopholes, with Chu Mu's reputation in the protagonist group, the flaws in this detail are not important. Thugs. Miyamoto Rei looked a little complicated. Her father was a policeman. So she has a sense of justice since she was a child. Now, dead bodies and zombies are rampant everywhere. Even humans who are supposed to be united start killing each other. This made her a little uncomfortable. It seems that the long-standing worldview has been negated by the cold reality. Don't think so much, they don't represent everyone. Chu Mu saw the entanglement in her heart. Gently patted Miyamoto Rei on the head. Then he turned his head and shouted to the driver's seat. Teacher Ju Chuan, you can start now. Yubi Bridge is just ahead. Hey, okay, then I'm driving. As soon as Ju Chuan Shizuka stepped on the accelerator, the school bus's engine started up again. But it didn't take long before it slowly turned off again. This time it is not the enemy who is blocking the way. It's the vehicles and refugees that have already filled the bridge. How come? I saw the refugees congested on the bridge and gathered from all over the place. And the armed men guarding the exit of the bridge with live ammunition. Except for Chu Mu, everyone in the car showed a look of surprise. Why did the army block the Yubi bridge? Saya Takashiro crossed her arms and asked a question in confusion. So many civilians are blocked here, do they want to see all these people infected into zombies? Mibitsua Bridge is the link connecting the east and west of the main city. Once Yubitsua Bridge was blocked, just lose the passage to another area directly. The campus bus followed slowly at the end of the long queue of refugees. All kinds of disturbing noises are constantly coming from all around. The cry of a child, the noise of lovers. The screams and wailing came from nowhere. As time goes by meaninglessly, bit by bit. These voices are
वीडियोस बनाने हैं, फिल्मोरा है ना?